I'm Scott Martin Kosofsky, and I produce books. In 1569 through 1572, the greatest printer of the latter part of the 16th century, Christophe Plantin, produced one of the typographic masterpieces of all the history of the book. We know it as the Plantin Polyglot Bible. The fonts were made by some of the greatest makers of type of the golden age of printing. The Hebrews were made by Guillaume Lebet. Lebet's type forms, especially the stuff he made for Plantin, has a kind of exuberance that one never sees even in 16th century Hebrews, no matter how lovely they are. This isn't a class by itself. This has the confidence of a master type cutter. My friend and colleague Matthew Carter, the dean of type designers of our time, had known these types since he was a teenager, and 12 or 15 years ago, he revisited these types and made a digital drawing of the largest of the Lebet Hebrews. Matthew captured the freedom of line that Lebet had captured. He had shown them to me, hoping I might take an interest in them and finish them. And I was so excited about this. This is my sukkah, my workshop here. It was a former garage that we converted to an office. Hello, Bertie. This is my parrotlet, Pepe. He always looks over my shoulder. Making Hebrew fonts is an enormous process. It's unlike the creation of fonts in just about any other language. The character set is a very large one when one considers the nikud, the vowels, and the cantillation tropes, which are the indications for chanting. So you have the possibility of the better part of 2,000 combinations of these things. It's a little bit like playing 20-some chess games at one time. This is a font in its digital form, in the text font of Lebet. Interestingly enough, I have done far less editing than I've ever done with anything. What I did do, however, is that I shortened the height of the lamet just a tiny bit. I changed the letter Gimel. I just thought it was an unfortunate character. Here we go. You see this shape, which has much more of a belly in its downstroke here. Whereas in Lebet's over here, this is quite straight. So I made up a little electronic specimen and sent them around, hoping someone would fall completely in love with these types. So along comes next book, the most forward-thinking of all Jewish publishers. And they came forward with this lovely little project of Yehuda Halevi poems. So I was delighted by the fact that I would take my first step, and next book would take its first step, making an ebook out of this to make it very, very widely available. This font that I'm working on now, the Lebet font, when you think about it, this is the Hebrew Garamond. Imagine life without Garamond or without Kazlan or without Bodoni. That's the world Hebrew typography has been living in largely, is in this kind of neverland that has no real feeling of its own history. It's exciting to me to try and adapt something that has a kind of historical marvel into a purely digital form. For more people to see good type on the screen is surely a mitzvah.